Hello, I'm really sorry everyone. I am trying my absolute best here. I've put a great big fan in front of my PS4. I suspect the problem is that my console is overheating. Because it is hot in here, but qualifying is over. Ayrton has taken pole position. Nath Clark is out of the session. Nath Clark, P20, the championship leader, is going to be starting from the back of the grid. Ayrton securing pole position by a long way. I don't think it's over yet. I think that clock is misleading because I've just rejoined the session. But Ayrton, I believe, is on a lap. So, and he's purple through sector 2. So here comes the Ferrari down towards the final corner. Can he cement his pole position? The reigning champion with his championship rival down in P20 is going to be looking to win this race by a significant margin. He's a 28.1 from the reigning champion. Myra is not going to improve. TH3 Toe is down in P8. Amir, what can he do in the Mercedes? Speed Alcoholic was purple in sector 3, but way off at the line. Amir does a 29.4, way off. So it looks like this could be an absolute an absolute domination from Ayrton. 5/10 of a second ahead of second place on the grid in that Ferrari, and he is going to be looking to take the full 26 points today, with his championship rival all the way down in 20th place, crashing from qualifying. I apologize that we couldn't see it on the stream, but it wasn't much that I could really do about it. Scott down in P11. There is Ayrton 2. I don't know why it's showing me chase cam. That's very odd. But that is quite the statement from the reigning champion. Pole position by 5/10 from Myra in P2. Although qualifying doesn't always translate to race pace, but with Ayrton, I mean, I can't imagine he loses this race. Robin A, P3, Sharpie, P4, and followed by, that's a fantastic effort for his opening race in the Alpine. Speed Alcoholic down in P5, Avi P6, and then Ayrton 2, Amir down in P8. The Toe, Lost Stock rounding out the top 10, and then Scott, Aces, all the way down in 12th, Rick 13th, and then Ted, Vans Racing, Rumax, Trugster, Zuba, Patty Pat, and Nath Clark, all three of those drivers unable to set a lap today, all making mistakes and retiring from the session. Absolute calamity for Nath Clark, though, in particular, and he is going to be raring to go and hoping that he can storm his way up to P2. Remember, he won from the back of the grid on the first race of the season, so it's not over yet, but with Ayrton at the front, with no one to challenge him, Speed is all the way down in 5th. I cannot imagine the Danish driver losing this race. It's just, I cannot see it happening. I think this will be a proper display of dominance from the reigning champion. That is my prediction. Unless he gets some unlucky safety cars, but let's be honest, this season Ayrton has been nothing but lucky safety cars. He's probably gained well over 20 points this season already from lucky timed safety cars after his mistakes, so we will see how it goes. We have a broadcast formation lap on, so we'll listen to the dulcet tones of Alex Jacques as they head around to the grid. Look at the tyres, almost everyone on mediums. Amir has started on hards, as has Vans, but the interesting ones are the ones who started on softs. Zuba, Ted and the Toe, all starting on the soft tyres. So we'll see how they do. Rick says 13th, unlucky number, perfectly sums up my day. Unlucky, man. It's not over yet. Remember last week. out in Q1, and then you had a very good finish. So all to play for as they line up on the grid, ready for the lights to go out here in Jeddah. Nath Clark, the one to watch, 19th on the grid for the championship leader. Where can he get to by the end? Here we go. Lights coming on. 5 red lights. And we're off for the Human Rights Grand Prix. Ayrton gets a great start from pole position. Myra way down. Ayrton moves to cover off the inside and does it very well. Myra stays in P2. Robin A and Avi side by side through turn 2. Little bit of wheel banging, but they've both gotten through. They're still side by side as they head through to turn 4. Can Avi get ahead? Yes, he can, down the inside. And the Mercedes up to P3, and Robin A passed by his teammate's Speed up to P4. It's been a nightmare start for Robin A, as he is down to P5, Sharpie to P6, Speed Alcoholic up 2 positions already. I'm going to see if we can get position changes. Yeah, sorry, 1 position. Avi up 3 though. What a fantastic start for the Mercedes. Sharpie and Robin A both down 2. Amir is up 1 as well. He's looking to get his way back into this race after a poor qualifying. Nath Clark is up to 11th place already in that Williams. He started 19th. He's up 8 positions on lap 1. What a start for the championship leader, but he's gone. Him and Aces have had a collision. Womack is retired. There's carnage all over the shop. Nath Clark has got no front wing. I didn't see what happened there. It looked like there was contact. Maybe it was just a spin and everyone else went straight into the back of them. Do we have a safety car? It's a virtual safety car, which will be horrible for Nath Clark to see. He would have been desperately hoping for that to be a safety car. I don't know how it isn't with Womack halfway across the track, but we do have a VSC. Unlucky for the Bulgarian in the Aston Martin. He's out the race already. Rick as well getting tangled up in that. He'll be annoyed about that. He always seems to get tangled up in these things. But we do have a chance to breathe under the VSC. The tow is into the pits. Is there damage to that car? No, there isn't. So he's just coming for an early stop to get off those soft tyres. Nath Clark is going to be in as well, of course, to fix that broken front wing. But he is now going to be hoping for a safety car that has saved Ayrton already so many times this season. Is there going to be one to save Nath Clark as well? He is right stone dead last now after a fantastic start up to P11 on lap 1, halfway through lap 1 in fact, and now back down to last again and way behind the rest of the field. Speed Alcoholic up to 4th though. He's not going to be complaining. Neither is Avi in the Mercedes. Onto the podium already and chasing that Alfa Romeo just in front. Sharpie on the back of this train at the front of the pack as well. Ayrton 2 right behind Amir as he guns for P7 after he's lost it on lap 1. He's going to use the ERS. Can he get close enough to that Mercedes? Using that overtake button, but no way through at this point. No DRS yet. Of course, it'll be out at the start of the next lap. Oh, and Ayrton 2 is gone. He is round at the final corner. He's going to have to wait for everyone to come through before he turns back round, and it's going to have to be a 3-point turn, maybe even a 5-point turn for the Haas driver. Absolute nightmare for him. But we turn our attention back to the front because Avi is still under pressure. Ace has done the fastest lap on his fresh mediums. I'm going to switch to tyres here. There we go, so we can see what everyone's on. Ted and Zuba still on those softs, as Zuba now trying to make a move on Scott further back, but not going to make it into that corner. That's for sure. But around sector 1 they come, and a mistake from Zuba, huge mistake from Zuba there. He's going to lose a huge amount of time there, and that'll bring Vans back into his wheel tracks. We turn our attention back to Amir, who has lost that position again to Sharpie. Meanwhile, back down to P7 for the Season 1 ESRL champion. But he is on those hard tyres, so he will be faster at the end. We've got more yellow flags as that's Ted round He has had a dismal start to this season, and he is round again, reversing to get the car back. And there's no ghosting, remember, in ESRL, so they do really have to make sure otherwise they're going to take someone else out with them. As now everyone comes through safely as the gaps start to increase. Ayrton sets the fastest lap, unsurprisingly, already a 1.6 second gap between him and Myra. And I fear what I said earlier is going to come true, as there's another collision further back. Van's racing. The other Haas is gone into the wall at the hairpin. Both of them going in sympathy for each other there at the same corner on different laps. Speed Alcoholic right behind Avi, but losing time pretty quickly, actually. The Mercedes really gaining, or rather extending that gap, and it's already outside of that 1 second range. Lostock with a time penalty already, but yeah, we are going to see a lot of those today. It's very easy to get time penalties around here for track limits, particularly in that treacherous sector 1. As Amir's gone out of the race goes the Mercedes. Can we see the stricken car? Yes, we can, from Scott's POV, right in the middle of the track, and that is rightly a safety car. Nath Clark is saved. He will be back in this race. But that will be race neutralized. Ayrton's lead is gone, and Scott goes into the wall as well as a sympathy spin just after going past the stricken Mercedes. He is into the wall, and there's no front wing on that McLaren. So a disaster early on for the Mercedes. The Season 1 champion not having a good season so far, and that has just compounded his terrible start to this third season of ESRL. Safety car. Avi is into the pits. Very interesting. Ayrton, Myra, Speed, Robinette, they all stay out, but Avi has come in early for the hard tyres. I reckon he's going to the end on those. Is that going to be an inspired decision from the Mercedes driver? Or are those tyres going to be screaming by the end of this race? Well, what I can say is the tow has done 3 laps on those hards now, and they're at 9%. 9% wear, so extrapolating a bit, Robinette has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in. But yeah, extrapolating a little bit, I think that's about 3% every lap. After 20 laps, they will be on 60%, so just on the cusp of getting very, very dead for Avi by the end of this race. But it could be an inspired call. He's going to gain a lot of time after everyone else pits, but at the same time he's going to lose a lot of time being stuck behind drivers now. He's stuck behind all these drivers ahead of him with the mediums, and he's definitely going to be faster than the drivers ahead, but is he going to be faster enough to overtake them is the question. Or is he going to lose all the time that he would have otherwise gained on the likes of Ayrton or Myra in his quest to make the strategy call that wins him this race? As Zuber is now DNF from the session. Where's that? Is that the same place that Scott lost it? Yes, it is. Into the wall for the Red Bull. I just saw him just there on the left of Patty Pat as they came through. There is the Red Bull. I don't know if you saw that. But that is exactly the same place that Scott crashed under the safety car just the previous lap. But Scott got away with it, and Zuber has not. So clearly, even under the safety car, drivers really struggling to get their cars round this Jeddah circuit. As I said, it's a very, very tricky circuit at the best of times. But when you haven't got any assists, it's even more difficult. None of these drivers, of course, running any assists today, or any day in this league. Just keeping an eye on everything for now. Let's have a look at fuel. Myra has put in much more fuel than everyone else. There's 47 litres of fuel in that Alfa Romeo. Everyone else is sort of hovering around 40 to 43 litres. So Myra really overfueled that Alfa Romeo. I don't know how much actual effect that's going to have over the course of the race, but it's certainly not going to help, especially if they are looking to try and beat Ayrton today. And Ayrton does have the fastest lap for now at 32.220, and Myra's fastest lap is at 32.421. So in terms of fastest laps, they're not that far away between them, but in terms of overall race consistency, Ayrton definitely has the edge. Hi Amir, welcome in the chat. Oh, you had the sound glitch again. I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, it's really, really awful, that sound glitch. So, yeah, it's gutted to see you out the race, though. It's always great to see you on track, and I did think when you crashed, I wonder if that's something to do with the sound glitch. Didn't say it out loud, but yeah, I know you've struggled with it before, so hopefully they fix it soon. But since it's only on PS4, unfortunately, I wouldn't hold your breath, because they are not going to care as much, I don't think, if it's on PS4. And especially since it's multiplayer, because they seem to care a lot more about single player, since a lot more players buy this game for the single player career mode. So yeah, I got my fingers crossed, but yeah. Nath Clark has gone back on the mediums, by the way. He was on the hards after his first lap collision. He came in for the hard tyres, and then it seems the second safety car, or this first safety car rather, has motivated him to switch back to the mediums, so he's back on the same strategy as everyone else, which is very interesting call. I would have thought he would have done something different, but it's tricky to do something different when there's a safety car this early, really. Although Avi has done it, but he was in the hards as well, so yeah, very tricky decision for him to make. And he's gone back on the default strategy and hoping that this time his restart won't be as bad as it was on lap 1. I've done a helmet review on almost everyone on the grid last time out. But I haven't done Sharpie yet, and that's a really nice orange and black. I really like that. Very simple, but very effective. I'll give that a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. It's very nice indeed for the newbie. But yes, anyway, safety car is in this lap. So we'll see. Tried to ignore, I couldn't. Yeah. It's difficult to get used to. So sorry to see you out, but yeah, hopefully they do fix that bug soon. Oh, thank you, man. It means a lot. But we are about to get back underway. Ayrton is going to choose when to punch it. We're right on board with Myra to see when that happens. When is the reigning champion going to go for it? There he goes. He's caught Myra sleeping. Myra losing a lot of time on the restart, and now Speed Alcoholic putting the Alfa Romeo under pressure. Is he going to dive to the inside? The South African goes for it down the inside, nearly hits into Ayrton and really forces Myra off the track there. That was a very Verstappen-esque move from Speed Alcoholic. Myra's been forced to let him back through. That's not fair at all. That's really unlucky for Myra as they come through. Myra just about staying ahead of Sharpie further back, but Avi taking full advantage, getting past Lostock down the inside. They're still side by side. Lostock has to concede eventually. Avi goes very wide, but very difficult not to when you've got another car alongside you. So great Great stuff from Avi on those hard tyres, looking to keep with the rest of the pack as Aces now goes down the inside. Lostock tried to cover it off. Aces, a bit of contact between them, but Aces going to have the inside line still. They're still side by side. Surely Aces is going to have to back off now, and yeah, there we go. The Ferrari leaves that particular battle there. Nath Clark hasn't made any progress since the restart, still in P11. Is there damage on that car? No, there isn't, but Myra has damage. There is damage on the Alfa Romeo. We can't see it on the broadcast, but I can see it on my timings. There's minor front wing damage to the Alfa Romeo, and that is going to really cost Myra, and it must have been caused, I would have thought, by speed barreling into the fin at turn 1. So very tricky times for Myra, and unfortunate. I think we might see that dive bomb in the stewards, unfortunately for speed, and he now makes the move on his teammate down the inside for the South African. Into P2 he goes, but that gap for Ayrton already imperious, and I don't think anyone will be catching him today. The only man with a chance really is Avi, because of that early pit stop for the Mercedes. He's going to be hoping not to pit again as Nath Clark gets past Patty Pat, his teammate in the Williams. Down the inside he goes at turn 1, it looked like, and he made the move as he nearly goes for a spin, and his teammate does go for a spin further back at the same corner, and Paddy Pat's got to be careful. Everyone's got to avoid him. He's in the middle of the track there. Rick goes very deep there at the end of sector 1 and loses out to the two McLarens. Is he going to go down the inside? No, he's not. He's going to stick behind. Very sensible from the Dutchman, but that was very close to a disaster for Nath Clark. He's got to be careful. He cannot be making any mistakes now, as we've got... Oh, there's huge carnage! Huge carnage! Lostock and Aces both out of the race as everyone else fights to avoid them. Let's see where they are on Patty Pat's point of view. They're going to be on the outside of the turn. There they both are, out of the race for the two of them. Everyone had to take avoiding action as Robinet takes the lead of the race somehow under the safety car. I don't know what's going on there, but Ted has lost a bunch of positions as now Robinet gives back those positions, unsurprisingly. I don't know what the Frenchman was doing there, but they're all into the pits, and this will completely nullify Avi's advantage. He's going to be cursing in that cockpit to see this safety car come out, because it's just ruined the strategy that he had. And it's, again, perfect timing for NER Ayrton, as this is pretty much the scheduled pit stop for the mediums anyway, I would have thought. He's going to come out in P6, but all the cars ahead of him have stopped, but Vans is definitely going to have to stop again, unless those mediums last for longer than I think. What's the tyres at for Vans? 11% on those medium tyres, so maybe you can make it actually. It's gonna be about 4% a lap, I would have thought, maybe. 15 laps to go. 4 times 15 is 60. So, oh no, he will be struggling by the end if he tries to go all the way. But I'm sure he'll be passed by Ayrton within the blink of an eye. Everyone's struggling to keep it out the wall. Absolutely, Zuba. It's carnage out there. Everyone's really struggling on this circuit. Unsurprising. It's a very, very tricky circuit, especially with no assist, as all of these guys. Does your telemetry tell you how many times we hit the barrier? No, but it does tell me when you have front wing damage when we can't see it on the broadcast. So if you have like olive-coloured front wing damage, and where you wouldn't be able to see it visually on the broadcast, it does tell me when you have damage. So for instance, Myra in that Alfa Romeo, you can't see any damage, but there is minor damage to that front wing. So Myra sort of nursing the car at the moment. It also tells me when you have things like floor damage and rear wing damage and things like that, things you can't see visually, so it's very useful for that. It also tells me the percentage of everyone's tyres, and the current ERS, and whether you're using overtake or not when it's not visible on the stream. So it tells me a lot of stuff. It's great. It also tells me how much fuel you have. So Yeah, anyways, safety car is out once more. It's the second one of the race already, and we're only on lap 11, but that is to be expected at this track. Good for Avi to listen. I told him to take the hard tyres. Well, yeah, I think he definitely made the right strategy call, but this safety car has kind of screwed him over, really. If there was no safety car, he would have been in a fantastic position to win this race. But with the safety car coming out right here, Ayrton in on fresh hards, I cannot see him holding on to this lead. Ayrton is surely going to just carve through the field. Doesn't have Nath Clark to worry about. Nath Clark is all the way down in 10th, back on the hard tyres for the championship leader. Still hoping to enact some damage control today. It seems like putting the great big fan in front of my console has worked to stop it from overheating, because we haven't had another game crash yet, touch wood. Yeah, we're approaching the halfway point of this race already. Gutted I binned it under this safety car. I thought I was on the straight and realised I meant to turn right. Mate, don't worry, I think Scott did exactly the same thing as you did. He just didn't retire from the race. But from my POV, it looked like Scott did exactly the same thing you did the previous lap. So, you're not alone. Yeah, safety car is out. I haven't done a helmet review on Trugster. That's a very neon green with blue and red. Very striking. I'm not sure I like the colour combo, but it's certainly striking. And there's certainly at least some effort put in there. I'll give that a 6 out of 10, I think. Patty Pat, I also haven't done a helmet review for... Oh, it's the default helmet, 0 out of 10 for the famous streamer Patty Pat. But safety car is in this lap, so we're going to ride on board with Trugster as we see when Avi is going to punch it. Hello, Zach. Welcome in. When is Avi going to go? He's gone for it now. Trugster caught out a little bit, but still just on the back of that Mercedes. Is the toe going to go for it into turn 1? No, not quite. Scott breaks very late into turn 1. Ayrton goes for it on speed. On Vans, but loses out to speed, and in fact has a huge spin, as does his championship rival further back. Both Nath Clark and Ayrton with huge spins. Losing the rear end at turn 1. They've managed to save the car, but at the cost of a lot of time and positions. We'll switch back to the front because the toe is right behind Trugster. What happened to Aces? I think he got caught up in the crash between him and Lostock. I think Lostock lost it, and Aces got caught up in it. Speed is moving up to P5 now. Vans Racing carved apart there already after Sector 1. Scott right on the back of the toe still, not giving up. Speed Alcoholic right behind them now as well, within DRS range already, although we won't have DRS for another couple of laps. Ayrton not making any inroads, and what do you know, he's stuck behind Robin-A, who is a fast driver, who's also had a bad restart, and then he's got Myra just ahead, so this is not easy for Ayrton actually. He hasn't got cars that he can just carve straight through in front of him, so he is going to have to be a little more wily, does the reigning champion. And it's not all gone his own way today after all. Nath Clark still as well not able to make any inroads after his losing of the rear end. Rick up into P14 after overtaking Ted with those soft tyres. Is Nath Clark going to get past his teammate into turn 1? No, the toe has lost it though, and he's already down to P5. What's happened here? Speed Alcoholic up to P4. Myra's going to look to follow them through as well. Vans and Robin-A side by side up the hill, but Vans keeps the position for now. Robin-A still ahead of Ayrton. Speed Alcoholic getting in front. There's so much going on, I can't keep it up with it all. Avi's already got a 2.2 second lead from Trugster. We've got Nath Clark out. The championship leader's out of the race, as is Vans Racing. Not out, sorry. Vans Racing is still in, but has had a spin. I wonder if that is related. Patty Pat has also had a spin. I wonder if the Williams came together. What drama that would be. But it's the championship leader out of the race. 0 points for him today. Ayrton is in P8, looking to get his way back up to the front. We've got no safety car out, so no respite for anyone here as Nath Clark has now out Myra past the toe already in Sector 2, and Scott and Speed side by side as well. Fantastic overtake from the South African to get himself into P3. Myra now on the back of Scott, and I think this move should be done. Scott hemorrhaging positions now in this second and third sector. Myra loses out though on the straight. Scott using a bit more ERS as Myra looks to the outside and looks to get the switch back. What a move from the Alfa Romeo, but it's not quite worked the way they would have wanted. DRS now enabled. Can Myra get the move into turn 1? Ayrton is still stuck in P8 behind Robin, who's now gotten past the toe as well. There's no damage to that Alpine, and for God's sake, you've got to be joking.